Hi folks, in this little series of videos we're going to give you an introduction to Xcode, and we're going to make a little app called the ToDo app. We've already done this in class, but this will serve as a little summary of what we did so you can go back and take a look. So first thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to start up Xcode. And when we have Xcode started, we get this splash screen. We could start a playground. We talked about a playground being a REPL. That was a read, evaluate, print loop, which allows us to learn. We could start a new Xcode project. Or we could check out an existing project from some kind of a repository. For this example, I'm going to start a brand new Xcode project. We did discuss briefly that Xcode is used for a variety of things. We can make iOS apps, we can make watchOS apps, we can make tvOS apps, we can make macOS apps, and we can make cross-platform things like frameworks and things like that. For this little demo, I'm going to make an iOS app, and inside the iOS choice, we get a variety of what we call templates. We could make a single view template, a game, and so forth. For our little example, we're going to be doing a single view application iOS app. So I'll choose next. We're going to give our project a name. I'm just going to call it ToDo, ToDo. I'm using my Crashadalon developer credentials. In class, we won't be using any credentials yet. The organization will just be me, and I actually have my own little domain called apps, etc. So this little bundle ID will be com.apps.etc.todo. Remember, the bundle ID is unique across all apps in the App Store, and that's why a domain name is very good, because it's a unique identifier for each organization. For this little app, we're going to be using Swift. We're going to be using an iPhone, and we won't be using any of these extras like core data, unit tests, or UI tests. We will be talking all about those as the semester progresses. So my project is ready to go, so I'm going to click next. Okay, now it's asking me where I want to save. I'm going to save my project on the desktop. I am going to use Git because I'm going to be using that later on, but not for right away, but it's okay to have it turned on. So let's go ahead and create. So I'm going to blow this up a little bit so we get to see everything. Before we go too far, let's give some names, or let's discuss the Xcode interface. Up here we have the three main parts of the interface. So this part over here, which is controlled using this button right up here, is called the navigator. And you'll see it allows me to navigate things like the files, like the objects, and so forth. On this side over here, we have what's called the utilities panel, and I can turn it on and off. The utility panels has things like properties, inspectors, and things of that nature. This third one here is the one that pops up at the bottom, and that one, as you'll see, is called the debug area. So if we do any sort of logging, or if we're debugging, it would come up there. As well, we have this big area in the center. this area in the center can be put into 3 separate modes. The first mode is right up here, and it's called the standard editor. The second mode right next to it is called the assistant editor. And the third mode is called the version editor. We're going to go through at least the standard editor and the assistant editor today. So for today, we're going to be doing a little app. We're not going to talk too much about the Xcode project details, but we will come back to this screen in later videos. For today, I want to single out the files that we're going to be using. We're only going to be using the viewcontroller.swift and the main storyboard. So I'm going to command click all the other files, and I'm going to right click on those and say new group from selection. And I'll just call these supporting files, just so that it keeps our interface nice and clean. So there we go. We have our navigation set up, and I'm going to start by clicking on the main storyboard. Now, when I'm in the main storyboard, I'm in the standard editor, and we have a couple of things here. We have a view controller, which is given to us because of the template we chose. As well, we have an outline of our storyboard. So right now, our storyboard, if I open it up, contains a view controller plus a few other things. Up here, we have the different types of simulators that we could run. I'm going to choose the SE simulator, and I'm going to press run. I can alternatively press Command R. And if I press Command R, and I bring up the simulator, we'll make sure it runs. And there we go. We were successful at creating an Xcode project, talking about the Xcode interface, as well as getting our first little app to run. I'll see you in the next part of the video. Thank you very much.